Another one. January don't knock. It kicks the door in. This is a time of year when jobs get snatched, feelings get hurt, and grown men find out this business don't love you back. Yeah, I know what the clock say, y'all. It ain't morning, but morning would hit different today because this one's really the afternoon wood. I just felt the urge to get up and do something. Same energy, same truth, just late in the day. Y'all know how it goes. It's morning wood. We got to get into the transfer portal coming up on the closure of it tomorrow. But dig this, y'all. As of today, there are 10,576 football players that have entered into the transfer portal. Of those 10.5K who jumped in, 6,846 are still active and looking for a new team. 6,446 still looking for a new team. Man, listen. There ain't 6,846 open scholarships, much less roster spots in Division I. There are enough players for every school. The key is acquiring the right ones for you. And here comes the right one for me, because I told you so. I didn't whisper it. I said it with my whole chest. Everybody got emotional when names hit the portal. Everybody started counting who left instead of measuring what arrived. Everybody swore the sky was falling on Coach Prime in Boulder. Meanwhile, Coach Prime just cooking. Let me say it slow for the folks in the back. Hey, folks in the back. The production that Coach Prime brought in has already exceeded the production that he lost. Not potential, not stars on a recruiting graphic, actual production, film stats, grown man reps. See, y'all kept treating the portal like a funeral. Coach Prime treats it like free agency with a scouting report. He didn't lose players. He shed redundant production. He replaced it with upgrades. Same positions, same needs, higher floors, higher ceilings, more experience, way less babysitting. That ain't chaos, y'all. That's roster management. That's college football in 2026. And here's the part nobody wants to admit. Some of the loudest complainers never watch the snaps. They just memorize names. And football don't pay you for loyalty. It pays you for production per down. Coach Prime didn't panic. He didn't beg. He didn't chase narratives. He went shopping with the list. Give me a lineman who's played real minutes. Give me a defender who's already been tested. Let me get some of that depth that don't fold in November. And guess what? He got all of that with a day left in the portal, with over 6,000 still out there. While y'all were online crying about departures, Colorado was quietly raising the baseline. We see you boxing pretty, Tony. That's the part casuals miss. The floor is higher now. The margin for error is smaller now. The drop off between starters and backups is shrinking by the day. This isn't year one desperation. This is year three precision. So, yeah, I told you so. I told you the portal wasn't the enemy. I told you turnover wasn't failure. I told you production matters more than sentiment. And the scary part, like I said, Coach Prime ain't done yet. We still got some time left. It's two teams still playing. So keep doubting. Keep screenshotting. Keep confusing noise for loss. Keep on calling my name. Meanwhile, Boulder just upgraded the roster, and the receipt's going to cash in the fall. And like I said, I told you so. Now stop doubting Coach Prime's grown man vision. They keep saying that Coach Prime can't develop talent. That's the narrative. That's the lazy take. That's the barbershop echo chamber talk. But let me ask you this, my dog. If Coach Prime can't develop talent, how in the world do dudes we never heard of become household names in the 12 to 18 months that they're with Coach Prime? Suddenly, they're valuable enough to hit the portal asking for more money. Make that make sense. You can't be undeveloped and overvalued at the same damn time. That math don't math. Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, he don't just coach players. he increases their value. And the value don't increase by accident. Look around at the positions. You had a wide receiver to leave. Before Colorado, recruiting sites knew him, hardcore fans maybe. America, but he shows up in Boulder, big moments, big catches, big stages. Now folks know his name. Now folks talking NIL. Now folks talking, what is he worth? That ain't luck. That's development plus exposure. Look at the secondary, same story. You had a guy, you didn't have him circled in red before Coach Prime got him. Now he's a portal conversation. Now he's a market conversation. Now he's a business decision. And here's the key part that keeps skipping over. You don't ask for more money if your game ain't grown. Nobody cuts a bigger check for potential. It's only after you've shown who you are. And so if Coach Prime wasn't making guys better, how are they able to go on and do better? Because they are getting developed in Colorado. Coach Prime takes a name that didn't ring bells nationally and works it until it does. That's been the pattern. Coach Prime takes unknowns, puts them on big stages, coaches them through pressure, and suddenly they got leverage. That ain't hype. That's player development in the modern era. Here's what folks got to understand. Development ain't just footwork and film study anymore. It's, can you perform when the lights are hot? Can you handle expectation? Can you raise your stock against elite competition? Coach Prime drops you straight into the fire, and if you survive, your value skyrockets. And that's why the portal stays knocking at Colorado's door. Again, for the people in the back, I'm going to take it slow. If a coach couldn't develop talent, his players would leave quietly. No buzz, no market, no bidding war. But when players leave Colorado, everybody want to know, what he asking for? What he worth? Who trying to get him? That's not a failure of development. That's proof of it. So miss me with the Coach Prime can't develop talk. He develops players, he develops brands, and most importantly, he develops value. And in today's college football, value is the loudest truth there is. And this is a truth that most will hate to admit, but when a major player leaves, he don't just leave a hole on the field, he frees up a lot of money too. And in today's college football, money equals flexibility. This ain't Pop Warner. This ain't, we'll miss his leadership. This is roster economics. Everybody gets emotional when a big name hits the portal. Oh no, we lost him. He was our best guy. How are we going to replace that? But what they don't talk about is this. That one player might have been eating 25, 30% of your offensive NIL pie. And when he walks out the door, that money don't disappear. It gets reallocated. Now enter Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, in the way he actually builds rosters. He don't cry over sunk costs. He don't chase nostalgia. He says, cool, what do we have to spend now? And that's when you turn one loss into 3 upgrades. Coach Prime was on the morning run recently with myself and Big Dog Chico, and he said on there, I'm going to go out and get a couple more offensive linemen just in case. He was trying to tell you then he knew something. But let's say a star wideout leaves. That frees up one proven transfer wide receiver, a depth piece with upside, a veteran offensive lineman or DB you couldn't afford before. Same money, more bodies, more insurance. That's not panic. That's portfolio diversification. College football rosters used to be built like family heirlooms. Now they're built like investment funds. You don't tie all your capital into one stock, especially when the market is volatile. And the portal, that market stays volatile. And this is why Coach Prime ain't afraid of turnover. He understands it. One elite player can win you moments. 3 solid contributors win you seasons. Depth wins in November. Depth wins in December. Depth wins when injuries hit and legs get heavy. And here's another part y'all don't want to say out loud. Y'all get mad a little long. Sometimes a player leaving actually fixes the locker room. Less entitlement, more hunger, more competition. Now everybody knows ain't nobody irreplaceable. No sacred cows. That's culture. So when a major player leaves Colorado or anywhere else under Coach Prime, that ain't the end of the story. That's the reset button. New money, new leverage, new options. And if you trust your evaluation, we see you boxing pretty, Tony. Your coaching, we see you, Coach Prime, and your system. You can turn one exit into 3 arrivals. That's not coping, that's strategy. And just like Morning Wood, that's business over feelings always. There's another thing that Coach Prime has been getting knocked on, not just with, oh, he doesn't develop anybody. It's the living room talk, mama's couch talk. Let's get into it. Let's talk about why coaches pulling up to players' houses don't matter no more. And yes, some are still living in 2009. Now, there used to be a time when coach ringing your mama's doorbell meant something. Polo shirt crisped, binder tucked under the arm, smile wide, promises even wider. That era, dead, buried, funeral already held. And if you still think a home visit is a deciding factor in 2026, you already lost that recruit. The old model used to matter. Back in the day, a home visit meant respect, relationship, trust. Coach sat on the couch, ate a plate. Neely ain't gonna miss no meals. Looked Pops in the eye and said, I'll take care of your son. That mattered when coaches controlled the ecosystem. But guess what? Coaches don't control anything anymore. The new reality, the phone is the house. Recruitment don't happen in the living room now. It happens on text threads, FaceTime, DMs, group chats, NIL collectives, agents you don't even know exist. A coach can visit you every single day without burning jet fuel. If I can reach you faster than your mama can cook dinner, why do I need to sit at the kitchen table? Y'all got to follow the money, not the minivan. Let's quit playing games. You know what matters now? Who's paying? How fast? How much? How much guaranteed can you get me to the league? Not coach believes in you, coach likes your film, coach shook my hand. Belief don't pay rent. Handshakes don't cover relocation. Vibes don't guarantee playing time. The first question today ain't do you like the campus? It's what's the package? And that conversation don't happen on the couch. Players are employees now, and they know it. So let me say this slow. Players aren't being recruited anymore. They're being acquired. That means they want role clarity, usage plans, brand alignment, market value, and an exit strategy, preferably to the NFL. And home visits don't answer none of that. A spreadsheet does. The transfer portal, it killed the romance, man. The portal made loyalty seasonal. You ain't marrying the program, you leasing it with an option to exit. And so why would a coach oversell emotion when the player can leave in December? It's business now. Quick, clean, transactional. Coaches aren't recruiting the family the same way they used to. They recruit the family differently now. But don't get it twisted. Parents still matter. But now mama's on FaceTime. Dad is in the group chat. Uncle got questions about NIL. The high school coach wants assurances. And that gets handled digitally. No plate of food needed, no couch required, no fake smiles, and no using the school's jet. Why some coaches still do it? Probably mostly for show. Some coaches still do home visits because boosters like the optics. Old school fans demand it. Compliance may want a box check. But the decision already made before the plane landed. This ain't persuasion. It's confirmation. If a coach needs a home visit to convince you in 2026, they are already behind. The real recruiting happens before the visit, after the visit, without the visit. The house is symbolic, the phone is powerful, the money is final. So miss me with the nostalgia, bro. Miss me with the good old days. This is a new game with new rules and new leverage. And in this game, the couch don't matter, the kitchen table don't matter, the handshake don't matter, the offer does. And if you don't understand that yet, you're still recruiting like it's Blockbuster Video to Friday night while everybody else is streaming. Listen, dog, while we arguing about whether coach sat on your mama's couch, the NCAA is running a whole finesse behind the scenes. Because if this was really about student athletes, credits would travel better than highlights, but they don't. They love saying education comes first, but you can stop it and stop it right now. If education mattered, when a kid transfers, his credits would transfer clean, his progress would be protected, his degree path would stay intact. But instead, they treat credits like expired coupons. There's a credit wipeout that nobody talks about during this portal. And here's what actually happens. A kid transfers and suddenly 12 credits don't. Core classes don't align, majors don't match, the graduation clock resets. Now that junior who was allowed to transfer is magically a sophomore again. And the NCAA shrugs like, well, that's just how it works. Nah, that's how control works. The day is going to come, we got to just fess up this ain't about school. This is about eligibility. And let me make this plain. The NCAA ain't worried about your GPA long term, your degree completion, your post football life. Get you a coach that's worried about that. They care about, are you eligible right now? Can you play this season? And can we avoid lawsuits? Once your eligibility runs out, you become somebody else's problem. It's portal freedom, but it's academic change. They opened the transfer portal wide, but left the academic system locked tight. You can move schools freely, but your education got to go through TSA, customs, and background check. How that makes sense? Freedom to move, no protection to finish. We got to think about a lot of things in this day and age. That's why I'm just here to bring you today afternoon wood, which is typically morning wood. Y'all make sure y'all tune in to Friday, the morning run with Big Dog Chico, yours truly. I think we got a very special guest that's going to drop in with us again. May want to stay tuned for that. Always bring you the real, always bringing it to you straight up and hard. It is morning wood, but dropping in the afternoon. We out.